What is up, guys? Welcome back to episode 13 of our big bad BRC Racing YZM500 two-stroke dirt bike build and giveaway. My name is Charles, owner of mXrevival and mXrevival.com, and your YZ500. This is really moving along, guys. This week I dropped off your hubs with our boy Dean at Fast Blast & Coat. He's going to totally transform them. He's also going to do some custom work on the silencer that came in the BRC Racing kit. So stay tuned for a future episode on that. I'm gonna take you guys back down to Fast Blast & Coat in Boise. I'm gonna show you how Dean gets down, how Cerakote is applied. He's also gonna do some special etching on the hubs and silencers, so you're not gonna wanna miss that. You guys probably remember a few episodes ago when I asked you to vote which wheel set we should use on this bike. I had a set of SMPs and another set of brand new OEM Yamaha wheels. And now most of you guys, myself included, all wished we could have a combination of both of those wheel sets. And so that's exactly what we're gonna do. That's exactly why your parts are down at Fast Blast & Coat with Dean. Aside from that, I had one of my huge all balls orders come in, and that enabled me to press all the brand new linkage bearings into your linkage arm, your linkage knuckle. And thanks to those items being done, I was then able to go ahead and install officially and finally the swing arm on this bike. The whole rear end is almost done. And so your bike just keeps leveling up week after week, day after day. And if you haven't entered to win this bike yet, or you want to take a crack at it, head over to mxrevival.com. Get yourselves entered to win the bike. That's also going to get you entered to win every single YouTube episode's MX Parts giveaways as well. And when this bike's officially built and done, we'll be making a nice donation to St. Jude Children's Hospital. Now, I'm pumped on today's episode because I have something very special to share with you guys. I have a brand new product that was just released, and it's made specifically for big bore two-strokes. There were talks of this happening. I wasn't sure if the timeline was going to work out, but we did it, we nailed it, and I have it here today. And not only will I be debuting this product for the very first time, but I'm also going to be giving one of them away to you guys today. So guys, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the all-new Lectron Big Air. Now, the Big Air was made specifically for 300 to 500 cc two-strokes. I know you guys have been begging for it. Lectron finally made it. Now, if you're wondering, wait a minute, dude, you already installed a Lectron in a previous episode, you are 100% right. And this big bad boy is going to replace the Billetron 38 unit that we installed a few episodes ago. Reason being, the new Big Air is actually a 39mm carburetor, as stated, made for the big bores. And that is really going to help our massive BRC Racing 500 engine suck in the most fuel and air it can to make the most power that it can. So guys, I want to head over to the bench. We're going to take the Big Air 39 and the 38 Billetron. We're going to put them side by side, compare them a little bit. Somebody on Instagram actually asked me what the measurements of the venturi or the bore were, so we're gonna throw some calipers on both of them as well. And then I wanna go over some of the features and benefits that are specific to the Big Air. After that, I'm gonna give one of these suckers away. So let's go check this thing out on the bench. All right, guys, here we are on the bench. As you can see, I have the Lectron Big Air, the 39, right next to the original Billetron 38 that we had. Now, in terms of construction off the bat, they look very similar. I'm not really seeing any big differences, although the Big Air does have a smaller gasket under the lid than the original Billetron, so I'm not sure if that has something to do with the easy tuning kit, these big thumb dials that we're going to get to in a minute, or not, but that's really the only thing I can see that's different. And now there may be some things that I can't see that are different, but for the most part, overall, the look is the same. They're really cool. These specifically are extremely stealthy. Almost looks like we're getting ready to set up a Banshee or like an old RD350, those two-stroke twins. Both the carbs have the YZ500 logo. We had drafted up by Decalworks. Really cool to get that on the carburetor and various other places on the bike, as you will see soon and have seen some of already. So we'll go ahead and throw a caliper on the venturis or bores of these carburetors real quick just to see what the difference is. So I've got our calipers zeroed out. We'll go ahead and measure the inside of the 38 mil. Get that right in the center best I can. And these are not the best calipers. Do not laugh at me. 37.1 millimeters. So in my experience, these have been off almost a millimeter. So 38, go figure, right? We'll zero these out again, open them up, get them into the Big Air best I can in the center, 39.32. So as you can see, the calipers aren't perfect, but just to give you an idea. So the 38 is a 38, the 39 is a 39, just like they state. And you can do what you will with that info given to you by my broke ass cheap shit calipers. Don't make fun of me, I'm sensitive. Yeah, right. Anyway, it's nice to have these on the bench with you guys, especially with some variants in the top, the Easy Tuning Kit and the lack thereof on the original Billetron 38. That'll give me a chance to show you guys what I think is actually an ingenious creation. Now, the Easy Tuning Kit here, these thumb dials, easy, dude. You just spin them. You're on the track, on the trail. You can just pull over and make some adjustments by getting the lid of your Big Air off. And these come or can be equipped on the 38 as well. So it's not exclusive to the Big Air. It's just something you can add, and it's really nice. Alternatively, you can go ahead and weasel an Allen key into the side of your bike, crammed sideways if you want to keep something like that on you, which you probably don't. Take more time, more effort. Although I will say these finally went to metric hardware. I think the older Lectrons were even a Phillips head, I want to say, or maybe they were a standard Allen. I can't remember, but at any rate, this falls in line, even if you have the Allens, with all the other Japanese or metric hardware that's on your bike. So either way, that's nice, but obviously the Easy Tuning Kit, much better. They're only like 30 bucks. Since we have the lid off, I'll show you real quick how easy it is to tune one of these. This is a metering rod inside the Lectron. This would be a needle in a regular carburetor slide. In those carburetors, you'd have to pull the needle out, adjust a clip in the top, raise or lower the needle with that clip, and do that over and over and over again until you got your bike running right. Now, one of the best things about these carbs in my experience so far is that a lot of times they don't need adjustment. It is possible, but most of the time they just nail it. But if you ever need to adjust this, and let's say the metering rod is 0% throttle to about 50%, so bottom to middle, you get the handy little metering rod tool. You can get one of these too, slide it over your metering rod, simply spin this one way or the other, clockwise to richen, counterclockwise to lean, and that's really all there is to it. So Easy Tuning Kit comes out right on the side of the track or the trail, spin the metering rod, drop it back in, check out your settings. Now, one important thing to mention is that all the metering rods have a flat side. They are CNC cut. You always want that to face your engine. Different metering rods will do different things. They are cut differently, but basically this is where the fuel is being dragged up out of the float bowl and into your engine. So again, this flat side needs to be facing your engine at all times. If you've made an adjustment, you've obviously spun your metering rod. So once you've done that, you can push up. It's got a spring against it. Rotate it back to where the flat side is facing your engine, and you're done. Hopefully I explained that well enough. If you have any questions, of course, just drop them in the comment section below. Something else that's really cool is that these just use your bike's stock throttle cable. The old Lectron used to have a proprietary cable, so it would come with the carburetor, but now it's just one less thing to do. You can pull your old carb out, drop your new Lectron in, use the cable that's already dangling there. All right, so now that you guys know how easy it is to adjust the metering rod, which is, like I said, let's say 0 to 50% throttle, I'm gonna show you the other adjustment on this carb. Now, the second and only other circuit on all Lectron carburetors is called the power jet. It's right here. It's an external adjustment. And what's happening here is that when your engine is under high stress, high RPM, generating enough vacuum, it's going to suck fuel right out of the float bowl via this straw in here, up this hose, and then it's going to dump raw fuel right into the carb's venturi. And so let's say you had one of these in your bike, it was running perfectly, but you've added a new pipe, went to a different fuel type, put a new cylinder head, went to a different squish, whatever it may be. Maybe you need an adjustment, maybe not, but if you needed to adjust this, let's say you're a little lean now, you hear your engine rattling, feels a little tight, you can go ahead and open this screw up, very easy, like so, to let more fuel in, or you can close it down to restrict the fuel flow. So it's actually the opposite of the metering rod. Clockwise on the metering rod richens, clockwise on the power jet leans. So it's really straightforward, it's really easy. In a traditional carburetor, you would have main jet, pilot jet, needle. The slide is another adjustment, the slide size. There's the needle clip. You have the air screw to deal with. And on these, you just have basically no jets. Obviously, you have your basic idle, your metering rod, and you have your external power jet. And I would say that as far as the new Billetron style body, or since the Billetron came out and now the Big Air, one of the coolest things about it is how much bottom end it makes. This is a prototype I got to test before the Billetron was even ever released in my RM250. Really cool to be a part of that. You can also see how these come if they are not anodized. We'll go over the anodizing colors in a second. This is just raw Billetron. This is how they come if you don't want anodizing. But this sucker made a ton of bottom end. It had so much more low end grunt right off the crack of the throttle, like the first time you take off, out of turns, in the parking lot, wherever it may be. And that was always something that the Lectron, the older H series, Legacy, and then the HV all seemed to kind of lack a little bit of that bottom end. You could kind of get it back with a bigger rear sprocket, go up a tooth maybe. Not so with the Billetron. So really, now we have a carburetor that is easier to use, gets better fuel economy, maximizes the power your bike's making, but it also has the bottom end of, I would say, a perfectly jetted key-in, without the complexity of all the jets and without the variances of temperature where you live, elevation where you live, whatever. Now it looks like we're getting ready to set up one of those old Kawasaki speed triples. So real quick, touching on the anodizing, guys, you have red, orange, blue, or black to choose from. I'm gonna go ahead and add the new Big Air to the mXrevival website along with the original Billetron. So if there are any other colors, I will get them listed there. I honestly need to look into it a little more myself. Nevertheless, very badass. I am stoked to get one of the first Big Air 39s. I am stoked this is going into your YZ500, just one more level up for that thing. So before we go ahead and stuff this into Annihilator, your YZ500, I'm gonna read you a few of the manufacturer specs or talking points about this thing, because there are many more than I've listed off. So we've got the why and then we've got the what. I'll go ahead and start with the why first, and this is from Lectron directly. So the Billetron Big Air has been designed for big bore two-strokes delivering unparalleled peak performance. Billetron Big Air dynamics have been specifically engineered to maximize mass airflow and velocity in mid to wide open throttle positions. You guys heard me talk about the increased bottom end a minute ago as well. This allows substantial gains in top end performance while controlling air velocity from low to mid throttle positions that generate a substantial off the throttle response and massive top end power. There it is. And that's true, at least with the prototype Billetron I used. As you would climb an RPM, the thing just felt stretched and it felt like it was just getting more out of the top end. The Billetron Big Air is aimed at taking advantage of the existing bottom end vacuum of big bore two-strokes while maximizing the mid to top end airflow capabilities. So you're kind of getting the whole blend of the total spectrum there. Continuing in the success of previous designs, Billetron Big Air is manufactured with a 39mm venturi diameter that incorporates a tested degree of taper that increases air velocity. The result is a controlled and directed air velocity in low throttle positions and substantial gains in mass airflow in the mid top end positions. Engineered to deliver a responsive and controlled bottom end while changing the game in top end performance. Again, kind of everything we've talked about. Better bottom, thing starts winding up, starts screaming once it gets up top. So always consistent, runs the same, any elevation, any temperature. I've never had my bike in the mountains or at sea level where it ran differently from one place to the other when I've had a Lectron carb, and that was even the older one. And so here's the what. These are bullet points on this carburetor that you might be interested in. Performance, 300cc to 500cc applications, unparalleled top end performance, peak horsepower gains up to 15%, and that's because it's utilizing what it needs, nothing more, nothing less. You don't have a needle clip position that is out of sorts where the bike's too rich, too big a main jet. It's just taking what it needs, sending it to the bike, and maximizing all those aspects. Fuel delivery adjustability for both the bottom end and top end allow for fine tuning with future performance modifications and or rider's response preference. We talked about that a little bit too. Maybe you put a new pipe, fuel type, or cylinder head on your bike, port, polish, whatever it may be. You can adjust for that. We talked about how you adjust for that. Improved bottom end throttle response and rideability, increased fuel economy up to 30%. I can personally vouch for that. I had this little peanut tank on my 2017 KTM 250SX. I could run that tank for a long time on the track without refueling. The first time I went to fill it up, used to fill up every single moto. Started realizing that I could go 2 motos and it still wasn't drained. So it's true. ISO certified precision machining paired with billet aluminum construction for unbeatable product consistency and performance. I missed a little note a second ago. So these new carbs have finer threads on a lot of the screws too, so you actually have a more granular adjustability, so you can fine tune things better versus the older Lectron. Simplicity, drop jetting, allow the technology to mechanically compensate for air property changes. Adjustable power jet, easy on the track tuning for mid to wide open fuel delivery, again that's 50 to 100%. Improved idle, centralized and focused airflow to the fuel signal, creating improved idle consistency. That's another talking point with all my old carburetors. I would never let them idle on 2 strokes. We didn't want them to load up, so if you let off the throttle, they would just die. With these things will just ping all day long. They won't load up. You can actually set the idle and let the bike idle. So here's some other cool stuff if you're still on the fence. Support, 30-day guarantee. Buy it and rip it. If you don't love it, contact our support team within 30 days of purchase and get your money back. You can get rid of it if you don't like it, which you won't, but that's pretty outstanding. They let you go beat the crap out of one of these for a whole month and then send it back if you don't like it for some reason. 1-year warranty, that is awesome. Anything goes defective, you can have it fixed, no problem. Have never had one break. Available technical support throughout the Lectron journey. Let us help you get the most out of your machine. That is undoubtedly true. If I've ever had any questions about metering rods, changing things, they've always been there to help. Though I haven't had any severe issues, every Lectron I've used has just worked right out of the box. And so guys, that's my overview on how to tune this thing, what you're getting in your crazy YZ500. And also, I guess I did miss one thing. The choke now is on the left side, so you don't have to reach over your expansion chamber. The old Lectron had the choke on the right side, opposite of regular carburetors. So one more cool little thing. And with that, let's go ahead and stuff the sucker into your bike. Just like last time, guys, install at this point, still pretty simple. We're waiting on some parts to be able to button this up all the way. Like I said, uses your stock throttle cable. Very, very simple. Pretty sure this is a first time ever for a BRC YZM500 engine, Big Air 39 paired together. I don't think that exists anywhere else on the planet right now, so it's gonna be yours pretty soon. I like that. Hoses are nice and long, so they're actually going to make it down in front of our linkage and out the bottom of our bike really nicely. I like that a lot too. Everything looks good back here, dressed very nice and neat. Super cool clear float bowl. You can see all your gas. I like that, especially when you're running a 2-stroke fuel that's colored. And man, just everything that's going on here. Cone pipe, Cerakote, vapor blasting, freshly zinc plated hardware, you name it. This thing is a monster. And so the Big Air 39, it is right at home in this bad boy. What can I say, guys? Your bike is nuts. As you can see, more to come. You know we don't half-ass anything. So to all my people at Lectron, Brooks, Lily, the whole build crew, guys, thank you for sending us one of the very first Big Air carburetors. Rest of you guys might remember a few episodes ago, I gave away 2 Billetron carburetors. They're over $600 a piece. And it was pretty crazy. The 2 guys that won them were actually building 500s as well. My guys, Brandon and Jesse. Jesse has a BRC 500. Brandon's building an RMzilla, I think it was, but he has a CR500 power plant. So it was awesome. Both of those guys were able to take home Big Airs as well. They're probably some of the first guys to have them. Originally, we were just giving away Billetron 38s. So huge props to both of you guys. Thank you so much for entering the contest in the first place. What's crazy, guys, Brandon dropped a $20 bill, won that carburetor. I love to see that. Just lets you know, this is anybody's game right here. Anybody could take this bike home. And Brandon, if you're watching, thank you for the phone call. I thought that was really cool. Brandon called to thank me, thank Lectron. So you're very, very welcome. So in conclusion for today's short but sweet video, guys, if you'd like to win one of these brand new Big Air Lectrons, and if you win, we can still send you a Billetron 38 if you don't have a big bore, no big deal. Head over to mXrevival.com, get your asses entered to win all these MX parts, win the bike, help St. Jude, and you only have 1 week to make this happen. When these giveaways hit 1 week old, they are dead, and I'm on to the next thing. When you guys head over to mXrevival to sign up to win the bike and all these parts and prizes, I'm also going to go ahead and add the Big Air 39 to the mXrevival website, so I'll have some more photos, all the specifics I talked about today. And I suppose that if you can't wait 1 more week to find out if you won this sucker, you can also pick one up on mXrevival.com, or of course, LectronFuelSystems.com. Having said all that, guys, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. You know I appreciate you watching and being the most important part of this entire build contest. And guys, I'm gonna try real hard to make sure I have a video up for you next weekend as well. I've been 2 years straight, I believe, without missing a beat or a Saturday. I've got to do a little bit of traveling, and honestly, I think I'm ready for a break. I don't know if my mind can handle that. I might force a video out still, but that's just the thing. If I have to force it, it probably won't be that good. So as long as I can get the juices flowing, you'll see me. If not, you'll catch me in 2 weeks. If you want to keep the YZ500 party going, you can check out this video right here. If you still need to enter, you can go ahead and smash this little guy right here. And until next time, guys, shred safe, and I will see you very soon.